joys of motoring in the British countryside in the 1920s. Some would say the ownership of any Bugatti is an unsurpassable sign of success and distinction. The motor vehicles designed and built by Ettore Bugatti, born in 1881, brought up in Milan, and achieving outstanding success on the Grand Prix circuit, demand premium prices and attention. From just 5 vehicles in 1910, 175 3 years later, Bugatti's built up a workforce of over 1,000 employees, producing vehicles noted for their endurance and reliability.
This 1924 Type 30 is the first production model using a 2-litre 8-cylinder engine. For Bugatti, it's a change of marketing direction, moving into the more comfortable touring car market. Every motoring enthusiast in the world recognises that mark. It symbolises automotive excellence, prestige and passion. It's 40 years since the last one was built, and we've come to the motoring heart of Italy for the rebirth of a legend.
And this is what the first Bugatti since the early 1950s looks like. It's one of 5 prototypes of what's to be called the Eb110, to commemorate Ettore Bugatti's birth 110 years ago. Already, it's been dubbed the supercar. As you'd expect, the born-again Bugatti car company says the production model to flow from this will be the best sports car ever built. We've come to test that claim.
Loris, can I drive?
Oh, no.
God, I just want to take it for a spin.
Creating the Eb110 is the passion of Romano Artioli, chairman of Bugatti Automobili. He too is maintaining the mystique, or is it just a clever Italian marketing ploy?
Can you show me this one over here?
No, this part, please, is forbidden.
Mr. Arty used to be a Ferrari dealer. Now he's hell-bent on outdoing Ferrari in every way he can.
If you want.
And though he's prepared to let us see some of the work on the new Bugatti, titillation is an important part of this motoring game.
Yes, yes.
As I said, some things we couldn't see, others we could, like the brand new production and testing centre. And unlike most production lines, it was heartening to see that the human factor has not been spurned. Craftsmen do all the finishing work by hand. The factory's been designed and equipped to produce just 1 engine a day, but it's a very complicated piece of machinery. There are 12 cylinders and 5 valves per cylinder. Now, normally you only get that in Formula 1 racing cars. And over here, the gearbox, 6 forward gears, this one's reverse, and you'll notice that it's housed in the engine block itself, and that's been done to keep the weight down. And no expense has been spared in that endeavour. Many of the fastening bolts are titanium, 10 times the cost of steel bolts, scrupulously measured to ensure they meet exacting standards. In a temperature-controlled metrological room, each of the 4,000 different mechanical parts are digitally, electronically measured. When the ruby tip comes into contact with the surface, deflection creates a circuit which transmits electronic information to a computer. It's a complicated but very precise procedure, giving a 3D assessment of each part accurate to within 1,000th of a millimetre. And you don't have to be a motoring expert to realise that the new Bugatti's power plant is a complex piece of engineering as well. Maybe too complex. It's a 3.5 litre unit designed to deliver 550 brake horsepower at 9,000 RPM. It will have 4 water-cooled turbochargers and 3 differentials to give constant 4-wheel drive. May be necessary, but still hard to handle if the claims of a top speed of 360 kilometres an hour can be believed. All of that has to fit into a body which has also become an exceedingly complicated exercise. Just 4 metres long, the prime target here has been exceptional lightness, coupled to great power with the aim of a true sports car feel. For this, they've turned to the aeronautics industry and materials like titanium, magnesium and carbon fibre. To meet a target of just 125 kilograms for the chassis, Bugatti contracted the French Aerospatiale Group for the development of a composite carbon fabric. Carbon's also used in the brakes. The coachwork is aluminium. Mr. Arty Olli and Bugatti have set up a selection panel, a guarantee committee to weed out the undesirables, the speculators, those without passion, and maybe those who haven't owned and looked after an original Bugatti.
So, if arrive a man with a bags with money, we don't give the car. If the committee tell us that these people is not the right people for us.
The name of the first owner will also be stamped forever into the chassis. Bugatti wants to have an influence on who subsequent owners will be if the first owner ever decides to sell. It's a sort of ongoing elitism. So it looks as though this is about as close as I'll ever get to driving one of these. And with only 150 being made a year and a price tag that could exceed $500,000, it's about as close as you'll get too.
Though Bugatti has agreed to let us get closer to the vehicle than most other outsiders, the test facility around their headquarters isn't quite the same as being on a real test track or on the open road. But beggars can't really be choosers, and one is thankful for the competence of their senior driver and the fact that we're not reaching anywhere near top speed because there's still a lot of fine-tuning to be done. The man it's named after, Ettore Bugatti, died in 1947. Some say he was more of an artist than an engineer who made more claims about his vehicle than could be justified. In the 1990s, the claim is that the Eb110 will be the world's fastest production GT coupe. Whether it is or not, nobody can doubt Bugatti is back.